Happy holidays, Leo seekers. Happy December. We just had the lunar eclipse in Saggy and a new moon trining you. Yay. It's doing that, the new moon and the solar eclipse. It's in your 5th house of the heart that you so happen to rule anyway. In a way, for you, it is also a new moon in your sign and an eclipse in your sign. 9 of Pentacles. There's a new start. Emotional new start, perhaps a new dream, a new passion, a new desire, a renewal of a dream, passion, desire. 9 of Pentacles, it's like you have been achieving. You have been achieving. You can count your awards, you can count your prizes, you can count your achievements. They're all on the wall. And there's a lot to be proud for. And now you're like, okay, cool. Seriously, I'm not being sarcastic, not at all. It's really impressive, actually. But now what? What's my next thing? What's my next me? How else can I express myself? Let's see. Whoa. Okay, we're just going to take the one card that... 2 cards, the rest is too much. I'm working with the Spellcaster's Thru, by the way. 10 of Cups and Queen of Swords. So there's a very happy, fulfilling place that you're in. Either friends, family, community, co-workers, family. Something very cohesive, harmonious, fulfilling. You're proud of yourself. You're proud of where you are. You're proud of the people around you. The Queen of Swords here, though, brings a very different, it's almost like a level of judgment. Of like, okay, cool, you have all that, but well, once again, now what? What, you think this is all you can do? Yes, it's more than most. Yes, it's plenty for some. Many would love to change places with you, but we have higher desires. There is more to do. To the drawing board. Because something about your singular expression still feels like there's something else for you out there. Something more. You have that in common a little bit with Cancer that I did yesterday. Relationships are good. I mean, I don't presume that it will apply to every single one of you. Nothing is ever perfect. But all in all, there's a lot of solidifying of solidified bonds and strong allies. But still, the Empress. You are so creative and have such a sense of abundance in life and how much abundance life can offer. You know that for you, staying in this level, which is, again, lovely, great actually, you'll be cutting yourself short. I just want to encourage you in telling you that you're not being vain. You're not, being ungrateful or selfish. You are grateful for what you have. And you want to continue being grateful for more. Cheers to that. There's a little bit of guilt almost for wanting more, as if you're supposed to just be humble and grateful. And yeah, okay, that's not a contradiction, actually. Being humble and being vain are not the same things. You can be arrogant and humble. You can be like, I can do so much more and pursue so much more and achieve so much more while maintaining spiritual humility. Or not. Either way, it will not make you vain. If it's in your system, if it's in your heart, if it's in your skill set, your talents, your desires, you can do it. And you're probably meant to do it. No, not probably. You are meant to do it. Okay, you come here for a reason, and your gut and your heart kind of tell you what it is. And if your heart says a lot of things, then it's a lot of things. Honestly, it's as simple as that. You can manifest greater cycles and realities. This is not a reading from survival to thrival. This is a reading from thrival to divinal, whatever. Yeah, you can be glorious. Nature is infinite. So the possibilities are infinite. King of Swords to the Queen of Swords, and in between the Empress. Maybe there is a couple here and there's also a mother-in-law that is kind of in the middle of things, probably in favor of the masculine, who's probably her son, or not. It doesn't even have to. The mother-in-law could be the feminine's mother, but still in support of the man, of the masculine. There's a little bit of a dispute, a disagreement, and she's like, no, I'm going to make it right. I'm going to tell you how things are done. And this Queen of Swords is like, well, I have my own opinion and my own mindset, and I'm going to stand strong in my conviction. And both the Empress and the King of Swords, the mother-in-law and the hubby or the partner, are like, well, Queen of Swords, you're being too harsh and too judgmental, and it's not really supporting the peace and the harmony in the nest and in the family, and you should settle. And you should compromise, and we should meet at the middle. The thing is, this Queen of Swords doesn't want to meet in the middle. No, there's something that she wants, that is important to her, that she knows is right. I don't see this Queen of Swords, saying, sure, whatever. No, the sword is deep in the ground, and it's like, and listen, to the outside, the Empress and the King of Swords sound really reasonable and correct and wise, and seemingly this Queen of Swords is just being stubborn, but I think there's more to it. I think this Queen of Swords is on point with this. And sometimes sometimes there is some room to a polar mindset, right? To being tilted towards the more extreme side of the scale. I'm not talking about extremism in that regard, no bueno. But you know, between the black and the white, there's a rainbow, but sometimes we need the black and sometimes we need the white. Sometimes there's a reason. Sometimes in order to pull into actual harmony, we need to pull from the other extreme, right? Because if, let's say, if a system or a society or an individual are in one extreme of patterns of behavior, etc., then in order to get them into balance and into harmony, then you've got to push into the other extreme, right? You don't quit alcohol or cigarettes or any sort of addiction by being milder with it. Okay, instead of I'll just drink 1 glass of wine a day or a week. No, you can't. As an alcoholic or an addict has to stop completely and clean completely. Got to go to the complete other extreme. Yeah, most people can handle a little bit here and there, but that's not the case if you're already in an extreme. There's a need to purify, to cleanse, to completely let out, right? If you're addicted to sugar, you can't have 1 spoon of sugar in your tea once a day, just once a day. No, you need to quit for like 2 months, cleanse your body. And then you can reintroduce the substance if it's not overly harmful. And of course, if you're an addict, then you cannot reintroduce the substance. But if it's other stuff, and the same applies for behavior. Yeah, we should shop here and there, but if you're addicted to shopping and you're spending all your money and life savings on stuff that you hoard, then you need to stop. And then you can reintroduce it a little bit in a balanced way, because it's okay to shop sometimes. You're getting the picture here. So sometimes being balanced does not bring balance. If a situation is in an extreme, then a balanced approach that will apply to other circumstances that seem right, like, you know, philosophically and theoretically, it sounds right. It's just really not right for these circumstances, for this situation. And this Queen of Swords gets it. This Queen of Swords is like, okay, this would be good in another time, in another situation, but right now we can't be accepting just mildly or to a mild behavior. We can't be okay with just a little bit. We got to go to the other extreme. And she's very harsh with it, and she's very strict with it. And I think she's right. And the Empress and the King of Swords are like, they are right philosophically, theoretically, generally speaking, but they're like kind of missing the point of specifically this situation. It's like when harmony to the extreme, when being harmonious towards the extreme is extreme, because it will enable and feed the extreme. It won't pull it strongly into the middle zone. It will keep it like kind of there. Hello, so many divine couples. Okay, so we have King and Queen of Swords, and now to the Empress we have the Emperor. And then we have Two of Swords, King of Wands, and Page of Pentacles. Yum. A lot of family, like a lot of people, like now this Empress's husband or partner is coming to the scene. This King of Wands could be a brother-in-law, a brother, another partner of a family member, could be a friend. Could be a son. I actually see them as like somewhat of an ally for the Queen of Swords. Like they're kind of, yeah, she's right. And I do see this working out in a way that, like, this Queen of Swords is sharp. She's able to kind of take off the blindfolds of the situation and allow and help the people involved to kind of look at the situation in the details in a way that kind of, okay, surface level, you're right. I agree with you. That's what the Queen of Swords is saying. Surface level, you're right. But, if you look into the detail, and she kind of presents her case, and she kind of shows the technicality, but look at the... what's the word? I forget. But look at the details that change it. Make it different. There's a very acute attention to details here from someone, and it manages to convince the other person, and it helps kind of, but there's still a couple of people, or at least one person, especially this King of Swords, that is very stubborn and is like, no, no, no. They're really going in accordance to like the dry rules, the dry law, like by the book. And it's like, take your head off the book and look at the situation, look at the reality. Nothing is ever as simple as, sometimes things are simple, but sometimes they're not as simple as they appear to be. Sometimes the black and white perception is the insistence of middle, moderation. I'm a moderate person. I always aspire to integrate and moderate and see the third path that is the best of both worlds. That's my inherent nature, okay? And what I do, I have my moon sign is in Libra in very high degrees. Okay, I see truth to the core. Like I see through layers and layers and layers. And what I learned from being like that, from my mind operating this way and being able to look at situations and and circumstances and systems in such an MRI way. I also have my Neptune in Capricorn. Like I channel systems. I know how a system is built, what is corrupt, what is right. Like I really see to the basement of it, right? You can't just show me a building, how pretty it is. I will already tell, what's rotten in the core or in the foundations or what needs to be. I can already tell if it can survive an earthquake or not. And I'm being, of course, it's an analogy. It's not necessarily like a building per se, though it could play out like that. But I mean like structures and systems and political parties and big world organizations. Like I see right through them. I know all the corruptions and all the bullshit and everything that makes it tick. And what I know from this, what I can tell you in certainty from this, that sometimes the harmonious, moderate approach is actually, can be, depending on the situation, but the most extreme and inappropriate, and can lead to the most, what's the word? Not disaster, but like sabotage and ruin, and the opposite of justice. So I really see this play out in this Queen of Swords person. And whatever, Leo, this could be you, this could be someone around you. And this King of Swords is just, they're looking at the surface level of the truth, the surface level of the regulations. They're missing a very important point. And I see little by little, this Queen of Swords is managing to show the truth to the other people. Like first they were on his side. Little by little throughout the month, people are going to see it from the Queen of Swords perspective. But it will still require convincing to this King of Swords, who is very stubborn. Eight of Swords, there's no convincing them. You might have to, cast a vote or make an executive decision and kind of bypass them and go around their decision because they're just not seeing clearly and they presume to see the clearest, right? This is someone that, but they're not convincing. This is how you tell the difference, because both the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords are very adamant in their position, right? The way you tell the difference, which one is the Queen of Swords in this story and which one is the King of Swords. The Queen of Swords is the person that really presents valid arguments and sees like a complexity of aspects to this situation, whatever this is. And it helps you kind of see it from their perspective. You see it, right? And they actually listening to what you're saying, and they have actual answers to the concerns or to the resistance. This King of Swords just repeats saying the same thing over and over again, and it's like they're not listening. They're just saying the same mantra, and they're not listening to the different information or to what this Queen of Swords is saying. The Queen of Swords is presenting an argument, and this King of Swords is like, it's almost like they're not actually listening. It's like they're pretending to listen, and then they just repeat the same argument that they had again, maybe in different words, but still it's the same thing. They're not actually answering what this Queen of Swords presents. Now, I sound like it's legalities. It could be, but this could be like a family thing, like how to go about something, what to do about something, how to approach the situation. It doesn't have to be family. This could be a group of coworkers, an organization. Could be both somehow, like family and work. Bottom line, someone is going to be very, very stubborn and stay in their mindset. You're going to have to bypass them. If you continue trying and everyone else is already on board and kind of hopped onto your side or to this Queen of Swords sides, Leo, you can be the stubborn King of Swords. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. So if you're the stubborn King of Swords, people will have to go around you. They bypass you, and they will be right. Ooh, I said that. I did. Show me more for my gorgeous Leos for the month of December, the end of 2021. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, Saturnella, winter solstice. Yule, Saturnella, winter solstice, and Christmas are pretty much the same thing, but approached from different cultures. Winter solstice and Yule are first. The others borrowed it. Oh, let me just borrow your holiday and say that it's mine. Okay, I love all of you. I have a Christmas tree and a menorah and a pagan symbols in the same corner. You know, I'll post a picture of it on Instagram today after this, so you could see. But like, you know, I love all of you. Like, a reason to party, honestly. Just give me a reason to party. King of Pentacles and Four of Swords. Give me a reason to party with the divine. I love your culture, whatever your culture may be. I find it fascinating. I find all cultures fascinating. So, yeah. Happy holiday to you. King of Pentacles, Four of Swords. Another king in the house. Who are all these people? Wow. Wow. Okay, someone is coming into the situation. They kind of kept quiet, or they didn't meddle, or they just weren't a part of the situation. They kind of somehow pop into this narrative story situation seemingly from the outside, and now they have something to say, and they're like, I'm putting a hold on this. I'm putting a hold on this until we figure out more information. I don't know what the position of this King of Pentacles here to be able to do so. It's like they're coming out of nowhere. Maybe it's like, I don't know, but it's someone with a say, it's someone with resources, it's someone with status, it's someone that people listen to, and as soon as they're like, okay, all of y'all, I need to think. All right, tell me more. Six of Swords. Someone might decide to take themselves out of the situation. And choose like a sixth path that is sixth sense oriented, intuition oriented, and just be guided by spirit and guided by their heart, and be like, you know what, everyone? You might be wrong, you might be right. This is someone that is like, I don't care about what's right anymore. This situation is giving me a headache. It doesn't make me feel good. I'm just going to go. And this person is like, they're just going. They feel that there's something else, that maybe this entire situation, and I think it's with this Queen of Swords. It's very Aquarius energy, and Six of Swords is also Aquarian energy. I want to listen to someone else. I want to take myself out of this language, way of thinking, and bring the same riddle or issue to somewhere or someone that will look at it in a completely different manner and give a completely different perspective. Because this here is just too messy. Even if you're right, it's still messy. Eight of Pentacles. Someone wants to focus on the immediate important things, like taking care of their kids, taking care of their partner, taking care of their household, of their resources, of what they worked for. They no longer give an F about who's right, who's wrong, and what we should do. This is towards the last third of the month, right? It's in Capricorn season already. It's like from 21st of December and on, right? From the winter solstice and on. They're like, I'm moving away from this. Someone is moving away from this and is deciding to focus on what matters to them, and they don't care about the big picture. They care about their own small picture. They're cutting their losses. They're like, it's not worth it. Seven of Pentacles. Someone, this could be you or whoever this is like, I'm going to invest in something else that is mine, that I have a full say on it. I don't need to run it by all these people or all these opinions. I don't care anymore. This is what my heart guides me towards. I need to invest in this new thing or in this different thing that I've been working on for a while, but not so much so. I kind of been neglecting it for the sake of this, but now I'm going to just do this. This is my thing. And maybe you're taking a little bit of a break. Maybe you're taking a little bit of a vacation. Maybe you're taking yourself out of this dynamic community, workspace, family, and just focusing on yourself, or just you and your partner, or just you and your child, or just you and your dog. Okay, I want you to take a look at the cards, please. So I'm going to continue this in your extended. It's going to be a love reading, double pentagram. We're going to look into you and your person of interest when it comes to love for December, and we'll finish up with messages from the Celtic runes. You can find it below on Vimeo and on Patreon. Please check out Patreon. And thank you for my patrons, and thank you for my channel members. I appreciate you very much so. Also, check out the special nodal project that I've done for all the North and South nodes. Check out your North-South node access. It's on YouTube. And if you want to study tarot, check out Tarot Masterclass Bunkai on Vimeo. All the links are below. Conclude, please, December. Thank you. Yeah, something is like done. I think this entire drama is making you see the reality of something, is making you feel like you've been blinded, like you were only presented with the exterior, perfection and, idealism, right? This could be like a community that has like very high ideals and advertises itself like they're standing up for really great values and ideals, but when you really get to know the individuals and the people involved and what this organization actually does, then you realize that there is a lot of bullshit, possibly corruption, possibly that doesn't even have to be corruption, although of course, but it can be like just being fake, like being like fake woke, just using the slogans, using the words, but not actually living by them. Actually having a lot of agenda, a lot of selfish different forces that are kind of not working together and kind of, you know, going behind each other's back and being very sabotaging and very spiteful and gossipy and negative. And it's like, okay, this is not what it looked like. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I thought this would be. I'd rather go at it alone. And even if I don't have the support system, I'd still prefer to have my true support system of myself and of one good person, or like a small group of people, as opposed to a toxic establishment. Right? You're moving away from it. I don't really care anymore. The fact that we're just, dealing with this for so long, that means that I don't even care anymore. So this person here, I feel like, is coming in and dropping a bomb and being like, y'all are shitheads. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm taking my break. I'm taking my time. I need to think. And then this person's like, actually, I'm leaving, and I'm building my own. Cool. Let's see how it applies to your love life. Love you guys. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you in a second.